Guys for coming. We're so excited to see you all here. Hi, Jerry. We've got Eric here from Oklahoma City Public Schools. Looks like a bunch of you guys are in the chat. Ohio, Oregon. Oh, Chandra. I recognize some names and I am getting to know new ones. Christy Lee from Big Stone Gap, Virginia. I am from Orlando, Florida. My name is Mia Lodato, and you are at Tech Insights More Than Okay, an IT leader's perspective on building ed tech systems for all students. So if that's where you meant to be, welcome. And if it's not where you meant to be, why don't you stay and listen to Eric and I talk for the next 30 minutes about creating inclusive ed tech systems from an IT director's perspective. We are so excited that you're here. We also have Luis Perez, Senior Director of Disability and Accessibility in the chat, woot woot, from CAST, and Allison Kent, our Sites Project Extraordinaire. Thank you all for being there. Looks like I got another person here who's going to Orlando soon, maybe at ATIA. That would be great. If you'd like to introduce yourself, please do that in the chat. We are so excited to have you all here. And we have a bit.ly here on the screen. It's bit.ly/ capital J for Jan, JAN, capital T for tech, ECH, and then all capitals InCITES, CITES 26. There's also a QR code to the bottom right if you want to scan that. And Allison has put that in the chat so you can follow along. All right, so presenters, today we have me. I'm just hosting this thing. It's really all about Eric today. My name is Mia Lodato. I'm from Orlando, Florida, and I am the Senior Technical Assistant Specialist and Co-Director of the site Center on Inclusive Technology and Education Systems. There it is back there on my little, there it is on my little background at CAST. And we have Eric Hillman here today. He's the Executive Director of IT. He's coming to us from Oklahoma City Public Schools, and he is in IT services. Please ignore that bit.ly on that second slide. That's incorrect. But we will be coming up and just go to the bit.ly in the chat. So we're going to have Eric introduce himself more in a minute, but why are we here? The goal of CITES, or the Center on Inclusive Technology and Education Systems, if you haven't heard this before, please welcome this goal. And I think that it's important for all districts in the United States to really consider what this means. And that is, we are here to give you all free resources to empower districts to create and sustain inclusive technology ecosystems that foster, and here's the key word, I always point this out, intentional collaboration between ed tech, assistive technology, IT, and families to benefit students with disabilities and all students. This is huge. It's an awesome goal. We do it with a framework. We are all about silo busting. And we know that there's a lot of you all out there right now that are either in ed tech or AT or IT, and you're trying to do this alone. But that's why the CITES framework is here, because it gives you the what and the why. And we're going to talk to Eric a little bit more about that. So, Eric, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Oklahoma City? Oh, put your mic on.
Before I do that, yes, two things. One, if I'm recovering from flu and I have this chest congestion that will not go away, but it's really, really close. So if I put it on mute for a second to cough, that's why I'm doing it. It's not that I'm trying to take a break. Secondly, Mia, were you a DJ in college or something? Are really good at this. It's like, man, I
You're
could I
so
could listen to
funny.
you all day long.
I actually was a news director on the radio
Really?
at one point. Like just
Okay,
oddly.
you are such a natural at this. I'm like,
You're so funny,
wow.
Eric.
All
I'll
right.
pay you
That's
later.
amazing. All right, I got my $5 later. Here it comes. Well, I am so pleased to be here with you today. I wanted to share a little bit about Oklahoma City Public Schools. We have 56 schools, and 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we had a downsizing initiative and we closed 15 of our schools. So we're down to 56. We are currently about 31,000 and change. Tulsa Public Schools, where I'm broadcasting from today, my data team came up to visit their data team in Tulsa Public Schools, and so they're still doing their thing. I say, hey, I need a sound booth so I can do this webinar that I had agreed to do. She may have twisted my arm, but no, I'm kidding. We're doing it. This is fantastic. I love sharing this stuff. Uh, 1,000 students. Tulsa is about the same. We go back and forth between who's larger. I think they have like 500 more kids right now, so they are the largest right now, at least this year. We'll see what happens next year. We have 4,600 staff. Half of those are teachers. We have found, same in Tulsa, that it takes, a one-to-one support staff to support, our schools and our teachers. So if you have one teacher, you probably have one support staff that goes with that as well. We do serve 35,000 meals a day. I know that sounds like a lot. So breakfast and lunch for all students. We are a CEP district, so that's Community Eligibility Provision District. So we don't require that our students in fact, it's against regulation if you're CEP. We don't collect those free and reduced school lunch program forms. So all of our kids eat free, and that's a wonderful thing. That's fantastic. We also have, according to U.S. News and World Report, the number one high school in the state. So we may not be the largest over Tulsa, but we are the number one high school in the state, and that's fantastic. Um, we have 10,000 students that are transported daily. We have 135 in our bus fleet, and Oklahoma City has the largest capital in terms of geographic landmass. So we cover 135 square miles, which is huge. Um,
That
uh,
is huge.
it is massive. So not in terms of population, but in terms of land mass, it's a large,
Yeah,
large
like how
capital
long would it take you
city.
to get from one side to another? I do have to do that ever travel.
Every once in a blue moon. I don't think I've ever timed it. Now you got me on a quest. Dang it, Mia. I just need to get it next time. We do have 60 languages that we currently support. And speaking of inclusion, I spent probably, gosh, 45 minutes trying to find the right icon. We are home to 75 tribal members that our students are members of. And I could not find an icon to represent Native Americans. I mean, everything was very stereotyped, TPs and had things up.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? My Native American student services director would kill me if I put this on here. And so I gave up and did the world languages instead. So that's where I'm going with
Good
it.
idea.
Yeah.
Good call.
And so I have a call into her say, hey, if I was going to represent, Native American students, how would I represent that in iconography, and still be, inclusive of tribes? If you talk about teepees, that's pretty Central Plains, right? And that doesn't
Right.
represent all the other that all 75 tribes that we belong to. But our OKCPS, this is our why, and most of you that are in schools have a mission and vision. And I think this mission for us is in perfect alignment with the site's mission, or vision, I should say, is that by providing equitable access to a world-class education, every Oklahoma City public school student, every as the key word there, will graduate ready to fulfill their unique purpose in a healthy, vibrant community. Um, Now, I have been in my district since 2012, and I think we've had four. Um, Strategic plans, four different vision
Wow.
statements, four different mission statements. And this is the first vision statement that is every meeting opens with this vision statement. And at what was that movie? Lean on Me, where you said sing the school song, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We can recite the vision without a prompt, without a cue. It's in there now. Now, here's the thing: is now that I've learned it, we can never have another vision statement because I've already
Right.
learned this thing. It's going to be this
Right.
forever. And then I like our mission statement because we call them the three I's. So we
Can I read that? Can I
ignite.
read that, or
Yeah,
would you
go
like to
ahead,
read that
please. You
aloud?
go right ahead.
Yeah, it says, I love it too. So the mission for OKCP is every day Oklahoma City Public Schools will ignite a passion for learning in every child, invite families to engage, and inspire respectful and trusting relationships with our diverse community. I like get the chills. That's like a
Isn't that
really,
wonderful?
yes,
I
that's a
like
really good
the
mission.
alliteration of the I's, ignite, invite,
Yeah.
inspire. And so again, that can't change either because it's good.
And then you have on the vision providing equitable access to a world-class education, and every student will fulfill their unique purpose in a healthy, vibrant community.
Yeah,
That's great too. Like it's not saying exactly like that everybody's going to go to college, right? Because that
right.
might not be the path for everybody. But yeah, this definitely is great. And Luis put in the chat, and it leads to include. Said the vision, Peter says the vision and mission really drive what we do, not just words
100%.
on the page. I just absolutely love
Preach
that.
on.
So it is very aligned with what we do at sites. And so let's talk about that because Eric, you're going to tell us a little bit about yourself in a little bit, but I just want to share with people here that might not have known this. Eric has been a part of the site's advisory board for a little while now. I think we got put on the advisory board at the same time. And then before I came on as co-project director. And so he has been a part of advising how we do things and the way that we are headed with the Center on Inclusive Technology and Education Systems. And one of the things that we like to share with people is that our current system right now in most districts have this going on. And feel free to, say in the chat if this is where you are at in your system. We have assistive technology, instructional technology, communities, educators, families. They all have separate values, separate data, and separate knowledge, all helping children learn. So, like those balls of clay, different colored balls of clay on this screen, they are separate. They're wonderful. They're all helping children learn, but they are separate. Our goal with sites and with the districts that we work with and in the resources that we give are to create a supported system of collaboration with shared values, shared data, and knowledge. There's that intentional collaboration that we were talking about earlier, helping all children learn, right? So you see the difference of where the all is in the sentence. And then we have these square balls of clay that are, well, they're not balls, but they're square clay configurations with multiple colors. So they're all mixed and everybody's sharing. And what I like about this is that they're building on each other. There's a lower, there's three on the lower and there's two. It's like almost like building a pyramid. So they're building on each other, just like we hope that IT communities and educators can share with each other intentionally and build on each other's values, data, and knowledge. So we have a framework that helps that. And we're going to talk about a little bit how that framework helps. But right now, we're going to pause to get Eric's story about what was his background and how did he come to finding out about sites.
Go back a slide if you would for me,
Yeah,
Mia.
absolutely.
So this is a powerful slide. I mean, when I first saw this, it's like screenshot, and say because it just spoke volumes to me. And I said volumes as a pun because now you have little cubes in the volume of a cube. Okay, that's
Right.
nerdy, but go with me on it.
For
And
all
I
you
remember,
math people.
I remember in kindergarten getting in trouble with my because I blended my Play-Doh together, and it looked like that, and it was awesome. I'm just saying. Now, very powerful slide, and it really speaks to me. So, whoever came up with that, brilliant. Was that you, Mia? Did you come up with that?
No, can't take, nope, I cannot take credit for it, but I agree with you. It's definitely brilliant.
Oh, fantastic. So a little bit about me. I started off as a middle school music teacher, vocal music teacher. And I went to college on a percussion scholarship. So I played drums. I did drumline for our local high school where I was. And absolutely loved doing that. I have a church choir that I conduct. I've been doing it for 25 years. And then I'm also currently the artistic director for community chamber ensemble named Bella Voce, beautiful voice. And that's one of my artistic outlets that I absolutely love and look forward to Tuesday nights for Bella Voce rehearsal because they're all, I think 75% of them are professional degree musicians. They sight read really well, and all I do is wave my arms and pretty music comes out. So life is wonderful. I did get a master's in instructional technology, telecommunications, and I was at the Oklahoma State Department of Education for 14 years before I came to Oklahoma City, where I served as the director of instructional tech. And I will tell you that when we go into my curiosity and our culture of curiosity, I was blessed, at least in Oklahoma, to have an organization named Able Tech, and it's a legislatively funded body to help with inclusive and assistive technologies. And this is a little bit of my guilt here, is that at the Department of Ed, I really didn't need that expertise because I outsourced that expertise through that organization. And they are fiscal flow through agent with Oklahoma State University up in Stillwater. And so we're blessed to have that knowledge infrastructure in place to help us as a state. And then currently serving as executive director of IT services, and I've been in Oklahoma City Public Schools since 2012, and
And that's why you're
loving
here.
every minute of it. That's why I'm here. That's right. You got it.
And I think you bring, we were talking about this before we were trying to set up for this Tech Insights. And the thing that you mentioned was that your instructional practice really helped when you became an IT leader in
Right.
Oklahoma.
So let me tell you how IT people think. So non-instructional.
Please do.
They love standard operating procedures. They love flowcharts. They love systems that are unified and do not change. And so when I got to Oklahoma City Public Schools, we had requests, especially from the special ed department, Office of Exceptional Student Services. And my IT team never wanted to accommodate those requests, and they would only do it if push came to shove, and they didn't have this culture of inclusivity. Is that it didn't follow a process, and this is what you get no matter what. And so, coming from an instructional background, I'm like, you know what? The IEP trumps everything. And if it's an IEP, we're going to support it. And the eye rolls, I can still see it and feel it now. The eye rolls came like, no, it goes outside that flow chart, right? It's those one-offs. And I think for the most part, it's taken 13 years to get there. That they know if it's an IEP, we're going to support it, no questions asked. And so I encourage my principals and special ed coordinators to, if you need something, put it in the IEP and we'll make it happen.
I'm so glad that you've actually made some progress there. And I'm just wondering, when we talk about sites, we talk about IEP, but we also talk about universal tools, right?
Mhm.
And how important universal tools are for all students. So I'm have this question on the screen, and it's what do you see as the role of an IT leader in an inclusive technology ecosystem? And the second part of that would be what steps can be taken to make technology more inclusive for all students?
I think as far as a primary role is to ensure that your product acquisitions, whether that be curriculum, digital services, have inclusive components to them. And we're at the point in our journey that we include in our RFPs language that specifically targets inclusivity. Um, I think if we don't do that, you're leaving a big portion of your population out. Again, not just special ed, but for all learners,
So,
and all
Eric, I'm just
users.
going to pause you for a second here.
Yeah,
For those people in the chat that don't know what an RFP is or where they could find it or who to ask about it, can you just define that for us so that we can have
yeah.
yeah.
Requests for proposal, and a lot of school districts, especially large districts, will do a request for proposal for services or product, and ensures that we get the right product for or the correct product, and for the right cost.
And not only when you talk about the right cost and you say the right product, you can request that those companies provide accessibility and accessible tools and universal tools embedded in their products, correct?
Right, universal design for learning and built into the product set. And if they don't do that, they don't play in our sandbox.
Yeah, and I don't think that everybody understands that that is available. Those RFPs, you can do that in any district, and you can ask people about that. Eric and I talked about this culture of curiosity, and Luis actually just put in the chat right now the site's resources on procurement, which include how to ask about your RFPs, how to make sure that your RFPs have the right information to make those products more inclusive. So check that out as a resource. So your role as an IT leader then is really making sure and creating a bridge between what you know all students and students with disabilities need and then what they're getting in ed tech. It almost feels like an IT leader is kind of a gatekeeper in a way to all the products, but you don't necessarily have to be a gatekeeper. You could also be the bridge.
You are a barrier remover.
Love it.
Yeah,
Barrier remover. You heard
I
it
just
right
made
here,
that up.
guys. Every IT person can be a barrier remover. I love it. How about a barrier buster?
There you go. Oh, that's even better. I'm stealing
Love
that one,
it.
Mia. You need to like copyright that one. Trademark it.
Yes. So what do you think are steps that can be taken to make technology more inclusive for all students, even for Oklahoma City, who's right now you guys are going through a cohort with us at sites. And even though you're in the very beginning, what were your hopes to make technology more inclusive for all students?
A lot of this is what is related to professional development and exposure. We are pre-K to 4, which is our elementary band, iPads, and then we are 5 through 12, we are our Chromebooks, and both platforms support accessibility, um, in honor of or support of inclusivity. And so I learn, I mean, every time I go in settings, like, hey, what's this? I had no idea this existed. This could help kids. This could help teachers. This could help me. It's a thing. And so exposure to the possibilities is a way to make inclusivity and assistive technologies work for all learners.
I love that. And right now we're sharing this video, which we don't have time to actually run right now because we only have 6 minutes left. But the what and why of inclusive technology is a video from Sites that is about 5 minutes and it gets into and shows examples of accessible technology, AT, assistive technology, and accessible educational materials. And this 5 minute video is so easy and so wonderful to show anyone and everyone when we're talking about what is inclusive technology and why do we need it? And we have a video series, including facilitator guides that you can easily turn this into PD that you were talking about,
These are
Eric.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I know a lot of people here that are on this actually provide professional development. So we have those resources for you to check out. So we have 5 minutes left and a couple of things to do. So give me one tip that you would give to other IT leaders trying to work across departments in creating an inclusive technology ecosystem.
Here's my big tip. Um, and it's not mind blowing. And when I say it, you're going to say, of course, it makes so much sense. So I want to go back to talking about Able Tech and that I felt guilty because I outsourced all that to somebody else because they had the expertise. So why did I have to learn it? I can just reach out to them and they make magic happen. And when I got to Oklahoma City. In fact, this was just a few years ago, talking to my executive director of special education, and it's like, hey, who does this? Do we have like an assistive technology department or anything like that? I mean, that is literally one area that I just suck at. I'm like three sentences deep, and I want to get better at it. And I again, a lot of it's just guilt because I outsourced that earlier. Um, and he was like, "Yeah, we have a person that does assistive technology." I was like, I had no idea. How is this possible? And so it's about building relationships. I would have no clue she existed, or we had that resource internally, which is magical. If I didn't build relationships and had an existing relationship. So a tip, especially in IT. I know you don't like to talk to people sometimes, you're behind that screen. You've got to talk to people and you've got to be at the table and you got to have those relationships and get out of your comfort zone and build those relationships. That that's
I think
that's
that's so
massive.
important.
I
Yeah,
know it
no,
sounds
Eric,
simple,
you
right?
just hit the nail on the head, right? Because what I just heard you say is that it goes back to intentional collaboration, right?
Yeah,
Not just accidental. I ran into someone in the hallway and oh, they said something to me. It's intentionally finding those people, the AT people, the ed tech people, like the family members to have those discussions and create those relationships with them. And I think it's really so important to do that at the district level. You just hit the nail on the head. So,
it
what would you
is.
recommend people do first if they wanted to start to get a team together to implement change using the CITES framework? And we got 2 minutes, and I have to go ahead to we're going to be asking people to do a survey in 1 second. I'm going to show them these resources that they can access. But what's a tip if they want to get a team together to collaborate?
Will you fast forward to the next slide? I was going to say that the culture of curiosity, be curious. Um,
Yes.
who- Ask those questions.
Oops.
Who who
Oh,
who is
where
not
is it?
who is not here? Um, it's all right. Who is not here at the table? Somebody had put that in the chat. They just stole the words out of my mouth. Um, so thank you for reading my mind. And be curious. Be intentionally curious. That's a huge first step. You can't do this by yourself. There's no way. And without uh, sites and without Able Tech and without my own internal assistive technology person, I couldn't do this by myself. There's just too much out there to take on and try to absorb. So my three sentences deep um, knowledge base on inclusivity, inclusive tech, and assistive tech is now like two paragraphs. So I'm growing and being intentionally curious.
I love that. Thank you so much, Eric. Oh my gosh, this went by so fast, and I wish
It
we had
did
a
go
whole
fast.
hour to just talk more about it because I know you have so much more to offer. We do have tons of resources here, friends, and you have access to the slide deck. This is a quick survey that you have a QR code if you can scan that. And we're going to put that survey link in the chat. We would appreciate your feedback on that, and you could be chosen to win a prize. Really huge thanks to Eric for being here, for
Most
sharing your
welcome.
experience. We all know that all of you are very, very busy, and taking time out for 30 minutes to really talk about what we can do to make inclusive tech happen in districts is so important. And we like to say that the future is inclusive. And I like to say that you put the U in inclusive tech. So thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Hope to see some of you at ATIA in Orlando if you're going to be there. And for our next Tech Insights, that is going to be talking about ADA and Title II, which kind of goes hand in hand with an IT leader's job. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and have a great rest of your week.